What was it like right after your dad died?
Well, I was out in the herding sheep, and I was lying on the ground and looking up at the sky. I was 14, and somebody came running to me and said, "Your father had died," and he had been driving a cattle up. He had a load of hay with 2 horses and was down about halfway down to Ingham. And he fell back, and of course the horses stopped, and they just stood there. And that's the way he was found. And he had a angina pectoris, his heart died. Well, of course, everything was changed from that time on. Father didn't believe in reading anything that was fiction. Mother liked fiction. In fact, I have some of the books that she liked and kept. But unless it was real, my father didn't think it was appropriate. So, I mean, that was one of those things. There was such a difference in their ages. There was a difference in their worlds, too.
Mm-hmm.
See, Mother was born in Salt Lake City among the Mormons, and she said Mormons are all right as long as they're good Mormons. And there were goods and they're not. I used to have a friend, Ona Richardson. She was later Secretary of State in Boise, Idaho. It's Moscow, Idaho. And she was a very capable person. She also played the piano. And when I got to stay overnight with her, when it was too snowy to go home and I couldn't phone or anything, I would stay overnight. And they sat around a table, and everybody, before they ate dinner, knelt beside their chair, underneath their chair. And they'd say the blessing, then everybody jump up and get eat. Sometimes I would be told to sleep with their aunt, who was in her 90s, in a little tiny cabin alone with her. It was a little scary, but she never moved all night. I just left her.
Oh, wow.
Came out in the morning, had breakfast again. We tore down school.
Whew.
It was interesting. That was the days I didn't go home. The other times I went home on horseback with my brothers, and we used to race across the streets and sing to the top of our lungs all the way up the hill.
What would you sing?
Well, only a rose you give me. All those songs, you know about those. Those I've heard many times since then. Oh, I have happy memories of it all.
Sure sounds like
But my brother, biggest disappointment, and mine too, was that Winslow, who was very bright and kind of shy, when he died, he had a bursted appendix, and without telling the doctors or anything, he just, shrugged around and, he'd say to me, I was thinking, that was what turned me into the nursing profession. Something's wrong with my spine, Just feel that here. Something's wrong with my spine. And
he would tell
yeah,
him?
he would tell me. But then when the doctor came, he'd say, oh, nothing's the matter.
Oh, dear.
And then Ted came, and he realized what had happened. He said, I always liked Dr. Howard, but this is one time he made a terrible mistake. He never quite forgave him. Even though he would come all the way out to the ranch with all Mother's pregnancies, everything went all right. I know one time my brother had pneumonia. Mother would get under the blanket and say, I couldn't stand this. Take it all off.
Hmm.
And they quit. But then we'd had good times too. My sister Florence was not mentally too good. And Dorothy Luker now, who's still living, and Rick. But Dorothy learned to play the piano.
Hmm.
And we would stand and sing away at the piano. And so, I mean, there was something wrong, but you never knew what exactly.
Did anything ever happen to Florence that would
Well,
have
she
caused?
died in childbirth.
She did. But I mean, early on in her childhood days. I mean, how much older was she than you?
And let's see, she was, maybe, see, there was Ted, Bill, Winslow, Florence. And she married Luker.
Mm-hmm.
And none of us liked Luker.
Yeah.
But it seemed to me that he gave her the only bit of happiness. That's when Dorothy was born.
Hmm.
But also Roland,
Right.
and there was another little boy. Roland was a little blonde boy with long eyelashes, but he had muscular dystrophy
Hmm.
in his bone, legs, and the things in his bone just drove his legs up. So he couldn't walk, and he would swear, and just swear. So it was sad. He's such a sweet boy. The other baby, I really didn't live long enough to matter. But I remember Roland because he tried so hard to walk and it was gone.
Sometimes somehow I remember some kind of a story about Florence having something happen to her, an accident of some kind.
See, I don't know about that. I didn't know about it anyway.
Hmm.
I don't think so. I think it was a neurological problem from the beginning.
Do you think, Mother, it could have been some kind of birth trauma?
It could be. Because, who knows what on those
Mm-hmm.
days.
That's what I'm wondering.
Who knows? She was always very kind. But she had little quirks about her. If any of us did anything sort of sexual, it was always her instigation.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I don't know why.
What do you mean sexual?
Well, she'd watch how we went to the bathroom.
Really? She was curious? Or
guess.
it had a different flavor than
Different
that?
flavor there. We used to sleep out on the porch. She'd sometimes think maybe she'd just sleep with one of us or something.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Oh, I think these are too difficult to remember.